Hey guys, welcome back. We've got another skincare reaction video. These are some of my favorite videos to work on. You guys have highly requested Nina Dobrev, and so that is who we are going to look at today. She's on Harper's Bazaar doing her go to bed with me nighttime skincare routine. So we're gonna take a look at this and then we'll talk afterwards because I know you guys are gonna have a lot to say. Okay.
You ready to go to bed with me? In order to take my makeup off, the first step is a makeup wipe. I'm told you're supposed to be really light on your skin, especially around the under eye area, but I don't always practice what I preach. My mom is a painter, and I've been told by a lot of makeup artists that I work with that they are essentially also painters, but their canvas is a person's face. In order to remove the makeup around the eyes, sometimes I like...
All right. So the big difference here is they're not the Neutrogena wipes, it's simple wipes, but they're still makeup wipes. And it's funny that she said that she's heard already that you're supposed to be gentle with your makeup removal, especially around the under eyes and stuff. But she doesn't practice what she preaches. So she's more like, I don't give a shit, really, about this. Which is a bad sign, you guys, because that means that she's giving you, she's kind of like, I don't care about my skin, so I don't know, it already makes me, it actually really turned me off for her to be like, I don't always practice what I preach. And then she just continued to be really rough on her skin. It just says a lot. I wouldn't really follow her steps then. And I know a ton of you guys probably love her and you're fans, but I don't know. That's not a good way to start off a skincare video, right? Is to be like, I essentially don't care. That's what she basically just told us. So anyway, let's move on.
I like to use a Q-tip to really get in there. And I typically use an oil-free makeup remover. The next step is to cleanse your face.
I mean, what's even more interesting about that is she used a makeup wipe, and technically when we see people, we see a lot of people use makeup wipes. I'm almost getting to the point where I'm like, you can't really fault people for using makeup wipes because it's so commonly practiced that it's like, it must be normal and it must be okay, right? So that's why we're trying to change the world one makeup wipe at a time. But it's interesting because those makeup wipes didn't take off anything apparently because she ended up having to use an eye makeup remover too. It's interesting to me that she used an oil-free eye makeup remover, and I wonder if it's because she's got lashes, which I don't see, lash extensions or something. I wish they wouldn't have edited so quickly out of that because I really would have wanted to know why. But obviously her makeup wipes didn't work. She had to use a eye makeup remover too.
Face is Italian for face. Maybe I just made that up. I don't know. I put 2 pumps of Dr. Sturm's cleanser, and then I mix that with my exfoliant. It is a enzyme cleanser, also by Dr. Sturm. Just put it in your hand, and you mix it with water. All right. The exfoliant helps really get into the pores and get rid of that dead skin. Also removes the makeup if anything's been left behind that the makeup wipes were not able to get. And then again, I use warm water to rinse. All right.
All right, so obviously you guys know, if you've been watching the videos, I would have preferred for her to use an oil-based cleanser first to get all that makeup off, and then move into this next step that she just did. I think it's totally fine to mix the enzyme cleanser with the foam cleanser that she used from Dr. Barbara Sturm. I'm willing to bet that actually she was told to do that and didn't make that up, so that's totally fine. The foam cleansers, you guys know, I think that they're a little bit drying. I looked up the ingredients in this one, and they're not really actually that bad, and it's actually just a light foam, and what we saw was the enzymes adding a little bit more foaming to it. But an interesting thing about that cleanser is there is salicylic acid. So she is getting some chemical exfoliation happening and some physical exfoliation happening. But it seems like it's very gentle and not overstripping her skin. So it's totally a fine step to have in her skincare routine.
And I pat the face dry. I use Dr. Sturm's hyaluronic acid.
So I found that interesting. So then she's like, and then I pat the face dry. She's like, I don't care when I'm using my makeup wipe, I'll just go to town. And then she's like, but then I pat my skin dry. It's a very funny thing to see that it's almost like it's just very ironic, right? It's like she was just rough and then she's like, but I'm gonna be gentle now. I think you just need to be gentle. Treat your skin like a baby.
Which allows for all kinds of moisture and water and plumpness to get into the skin. Sometimes I mix it with the super anti-aging serum. Mainly because it sounds cool, because it's super anti-aging serum. For no reason in particular, just because it saves time and I'm a busy lady. The reason why I love Dr. Sturm's products, well, at first she was introduced to me by a friend of mine who works with her and who has beautiful skin. Dr. Sturm was the first person to come up with the vampire facial. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I get it. There's a double pun there because I used to be a vampire. It really works. Her vampire facials are amazing. And all of her products are amazing. And I've honestly seen great results. Plus, she makes them in these little itty bitty containers. Look at them, they're so tiny, like smaller than my eyeball. No, they're bigger than my eyeball. They're like the size of my nose. And for somebody like me who travels a lot, I'm on a plane every other day, having travel size products is super important. Next up.
All right, so she's used a lot of Dr. Barbara Sturm products. I get that when you see somebody who has amazing skin and then you're like, well, what products do you use? I think it's, totally fair to be like, well, I'm gonna use that, especially if you've got money. I personally think that Dr. Barbara Sturm's products are a little overpriced. Not actually a little overpriced. I think they're overpriced. The two serums that she used are both essentially hyaluronic acid serums. We know that you can get hyaluronic acid at a fairly cheap price. Both of those serums, when I looked them up, are like $300 each. And then the anti-aging one that she used was just basically hyaluronic acid serum with some antioxidants in it for the most part. So I'm a little torn on that. I would never tell you guys that you need to buy products like that are that expensive for no reason, I guess is kind of the whole point. As far as Dr. Barbara Sturm coming up with the vampire facial, I don't know if she didn't necessarily say she came up with the vampire facial, but she kind of insinuated like this is the person who created it. I do remember Dr. Barbara Sturm doing like a cream that used like your PRP, like your own blood, and then they would spin it out and then they'd put it into its own cream or something like that. But she didn't do the actual facial. She didn't create the vampire facial. And if you guys don't know, vampire facials are essentially just microneedling with PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma. But as far as putting on hyaluronic acid on your skin, totally fine. Great step. You just don't need to spend so much on it.
Is lip moisturizer. I like to let my lips get some face cream as well. Face cream of the lips. This is a L'Occitane en Provence, which if I have to be honest with you, I got this in one of those little travel size things on the plane. Stole this from the airport, not from the terminal. It was given to me. Next up.
L'Occitane. I guess it's like a cream for your lips. That's fair.
And keep in mind, I don't use this every day. I use it maybe twice a week and before big red carpets so that I get that nice glow. This is called a Desi mask. It is a product that I, weirdly enough, initially saw on Kate Hudson on her Instagram. She posted a photo using it. And I reached out to her and asked her what that was because she looked like Jason, the killer. And I was scared at first, and then she told me what it does, and then I was very, very excited by it. It makes you look creepy though, so get ready. See what I'm saying? Total Jason vibes. So the way you do this is you take this little command center thing, you turn it on. So I usually either use mode 1, which is red light for anti-aging, or I use mode 5, which is the red light and the blue light combined, which helps with healing. So for example, if you have a pimple like I do, and you happen to have popped it like I often do, which you shouldn't do, but like I said, I'm guilty, it heals your pimples really fast. Like you can have an open pimple, put the mask on, and then when you take the mask off, it's gone. It's crazy, it's magic. Anywho, you decide how much time you want it to be, and then you press the light, and then you sit and wait for a while. I usually text or watch TV or read a book or read a script, but it's awesome. Once the mask is done, I like to moisturize.
I've seen celebrities using this mask. I'm a big fan of LEDs. I think that they do work very well on your skin. They do heal your skin. They're great for inflammation. This one is expensive. It's like $2,000 or something. So I haven't even tried this. I do like to have LEDs when I go get my facials and stuff. I'm a big fan of them. That said, do you need to have this at home? I don't know. I'd say if it's between spending $600 on 2 hyaluronic acid serums or spending $2,000 on this mask, which I know that's a big difference in price, I would say that the mask is probably the way to go. You're probably gonna get so much more from it. She had her eyes open. It was freaking me out a little bit. I don't know if you can have your eyes open with that mask. I'm assuming so because it had like the eye opening, but it was freaking me out because I always have like something covering my eyes because those LEDs are so bright. And it would lead me to believe that they're not strong enough to actually do something to your skin if you can open your eyes in there. But again, I haven't used this mask, so I digress. Whatever, let's move on.
Right. And at night specifically, I use a thicker moisturizer like La Mer. And that way you have all night for it to soak in and really work its magic. La Mer is especially special because it was originally created, fun little fact, for burn victims. And it repaired their cells so well when they had third-degree burns that they decided they should probably rebrand and use it as face cream because it has so many healing properties. This is one that I use a couple times a week and or before big red carpets when I want that extra dewy glow. And I like to put it under the eyeballs as well. Something I've learned from makeup artists is that you should pat the under eye area as opposed to rubbing it because it saves you from getting wrinkles maybe a few days earlier than you would have otherwise.
Something that I'm gonna point out, because you guys hate when I don't point this out, is she hasn't touched her neck area whatsoever. She didn't cleanse the area, she didn't bring her skincare down, all of that good stuff, which you should. It's funny, but she was like doing this with her cream and stuff. I've always heard that it's best to just go like straight to, like pump straight to the skin, because then you're not wasting it and rubbing it into your hands. I tend to like put it in my hand, go like this, and then put it on, and I just pat it on. It's funny because she was like, woof, like really rubbing it into her skin, and then she's like, oh, but I've heard that you're supposed to pat it under your eyes, but she'd already like swiped it really hard under her eyes and stuff. So she's just got funny technique and stuff. She knows this stuff. She just kind of doesn't care. It will catch up to you eventually, and so if she doesn't feel like it's caught up to her now, it's definitely going to eventually catch up to her, this like kind of like blasé attitude about her skin. As far as the order of her skincare, she's actually been doing totally fine. She, you know, she's very fancy with her skincare. She's been told a lot, so something tells me that she probably sees experts all the time for her skin too. And maybe that's why she's kind of so like chill about it or something. But her order of her skincare is totally fine. It's perfect actually.
Now, if I'm having a little bit of an outbreak or a pimple or an uninvited friend that has made my face their home, I consult my friend La Roche-Posay. This is a spot treatment that you only need a very little amount of. It's got retinol in it, and you just zap them. It's basically like an eviction notice for your face. You tell them they gotta go find somewhere else to squat. I have two last things before I...
Again, her order is totally fine. Some people would say to use a treatment like an acne treatment before. That's my method. But some people also say use an acne treatment after your moisturizer. The active ingredient in this product is actually benzoyl peroxide. It's not retinol. They both work completely different, and benzoyl peroxide is a very good way to treat your acne. Retinol would also treat your acne, but I think for a spot treatment, benzoyl peroxide is a lot more effective. So, and it makes just more sense as a spot treatment like this. So that's just something to know. She said retinol, it's benzoyl peroxide.
Go night nights. And the first of the two is, very attractive. I put in my Bite. That's right, another vampire pun. But Bite is my retainer that I wear before I go to sleep. Sexy. It actually is sexy. You can't even see it. It just doesn't sound very sexy because you have a lisp. Technically, I'm supposed to wear this during the day too, but let's be real, I don't. Now the true final step is my sleep mask. This way, everyone knows exactly how to proceed when waking me up. Don't. Sleep is important to me, so just go away. Bye, guys.
All right, that was interesting. I see why you guys kept recommending it. I know you guys want to get the reaction out of me when you see people use makeup wipes. Let's do away with the makeup wipes, you guys. Let's just get rid of them. Yeah, I found that interesting. She's got a very bougie skincare routine. I like my super fancy skincare products. I felt like some of these were a little unnecessarily expensive though, and I guess I expressed that. But her order, again, was totally fine. Her ingredients were totally fine that she used on her skin. She's kind of got like that blasé, like I said, that blasé attitude towards her skin. I feel like that's gonna eventually catch up to her in the future. So I would urge her to maintain that beautiful face and you know, just be a little bit nicer to her skin. But otherwise, the products that she used and the order that she went was actually totally fine, except for the makeup wipes. You guys know, I would toss those and I'd get some oil-based cleanser to take her makeup off. And I'd bring it down. I would bring it, you know, she's definitely gotta have some makeup here. Otherwise we'd be like two-toned. You guys always call me out when I'm two-toned. So that was Nina. I found it interesting. I'd get rid of those makeup wipes, do an oil-based cleanser instead, and then I'd bring it down. Bring all her skincare down and focus on that neck area too. And I'd be just more gentle. She needs to just baby her skin a little bit more and preserve that beautiful face and that skin of hers. Otherwise though, I found her to be kind of funny. She's an interesting person for sure. And an eye mask at the very end of the day, at the very end when you're about to go to sleep, is always great, especially if it's a silk one. It's very nice for your eyes. But otherwise, I hope you guys learned something from this. Let's get rid of the makeup wipes, right? Let's just get rid of them altogether. And then go on with our lives. You guys can find me on Instagram. I'm at Susan Yara. I'm also on Twitter. I answer questions now about skincare because that's become a thing. And you can find me also in our private Facebook group. It's Beauty and Wellness Questions Answered. I'll leave links to everything below in the description box. And I look forward to all of your comments because I know I'm gonna get a bunch. Talk to you soon.